What's good, guys? It's TSG. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you my brutally honest review of Illuvium Overworld. Is it great? Is it shit? Watch this video to find out. Starting off with the #1 pro for this list, and this is something that cannot be denied, is that the game is fun. It's just plain fun. The gameplay is super addictive and you'll actually find yourself wanting to keep coming back every single day. You're going to use all of your fuel for that day, extracting, harvesting, capturing alluvials, and you're going to realize that, yo, I want to do more the next day, the next day, the next day. There are plenty of people already that have put in way too many hours, and I mean 20 to 30 to 40 hours already. This is a private beta where you don't keep any of this. This is just for fun. We don't even have leveling system. We don't have so much in this game. But just this game in its pure essence and that loop that it's giving us already is already so damn addictive. The second pro on this list is the progression of the game. And I'm not gonna sit here pretending like it's perfect, it's the best thing in the world. It's not. It does have flaws. But the progression already, like I said, it leads you to go from one thing to the next. Even starting the game, starting you off with 3 shards. What it does is it incentivizes you the moment you go into the game, capture 3 alluvials. And once you're done with that, you have a whole bunch of energy left. And what are you going to do with it? It kind of leads you into this thing where you start to extract. And you've just used your shards, so what are you going to extract? Shards. And you get shards, you capture, you fuse, and it just leads you and leads you and leads you. Then you realize, yo, if I want to be more efficient, I need to upgrade my drones. The progression of the game, it just leads you in a way, and I think it's incredibly done. And again, this is just the private beta. It's not even close to being finished yet. So if this is how we feel now, I can't imagine what it's going to feel like when we actually have the full game in our hands with ownership and all. The third pro, and this is massive. I would be an idiot not to talk about this, but obviously you're looking at it, the graphics. The graphics in this game are incredible. The world is beautifully designed and immersive, and you feel like you're really a part of it as you explore all the nooks and crannies, all of the caverns, even the hidden areas where you find your Fresno Nightwalker. There's so many little things that you can find in this game, and it's just incredible, especially if you have a nice monitor to play it on. It really, really feels not only the graphics, but the sound. It feels like you're really, really a part of this universe. And this is just one of the 7 regions. So as more of them come out, I just can't wait to see what it's gonna feel like to really delve deeper into this universe. The next pro is the variety of playstyles available when you are playing. There are many players that want to scan, that want to have these strategies going into each run. There are other players like Kieran that just go in gung-ho shooting. Well, I mean, trying to shoot everything he can and trying to capture it without even scanning anything. The variety of playstyles for the game is what really, really excites me going into this, knowing that there's no one right way. I mean, there could potentially be an optimal way, but it doesn't mean that every single person has to do that. And I think even from a viewer standpoint, that's going to be interesting, that not everyone is going to try optimize. You might want to watch someone that plays more like you, that doesn't play like you, to expose yourself to something different. I think that concept on its own is awesome, and it allows you to really find the playstyle that suits you the best and really makes the experience of the game your very own. I'm really excited to see over time how this plays out, whether you're an aggressive player or you prefer a more tactical approach. It's going to be dope to see how everyone does it. And knowing myself, I'm probably going to switch it up and change a few times to kind of get a feel of everything out there. And by the way, guys, if you guys don't have access to the beta, make sure you click the link in the description down below to register for beta. It's going to improve your chances of getting in, so make sure you do that. So now moving on to the cons of the game. And like I said, this is going to be my brutally honest review. So I'm not going to just pretend like everything is rainbows and flowers and everything is perfect. There are cons to it, and I am going to address them here. The biggest negative feedback that we've been seeing in comments, in streams, and even inside the Discord itself is that the environment can feel a little bit empty. While Crimson Waste is incredibly beautiful, it can feel a little bit lonely when you're out there, and it's completely understandable. I can see how this can be very off-putting for some players, but I think once we understand the lore a little bit more and they add a social aspect into it, whether it's voice chat or a message box, something like that where we're able to communicate with a crew of people, I think that's going to add a lot of value to it, even if you can't necessarily see them out in the world with you. Even having a hub like Sancta Mersa where we can see each other and have that be the place where we interact, that potentially could quell a lot of the negative sentiment towards this aspect of the game. Personally, I think that once we understand the lore a little bit more and we understand the story, it's not going to feel so bad. We see many single player games that are absolutely adored, even though it does feel like a single player game. God of War is one of them, Last of Us, the new Star Wars games. There's a lot of these games, and I think that once the story comes into it and the purpose comes into it, it might be enough. The second con, and this is one that I understand completely, is that the game can sometimes feel a little bit grindy, especially when you're trying to unlock your next upgrade and things like that. I totally get it why someone might feel this way. It's true that grinding is going to be a part of the game. We're trying to find that balance, and this being a private beta, we're not going to have it perfect straight off the bat. So it is something that we're going to tweak and get the feedback on and see what we can do, because we don't want things to be too easy like a lot of games today, and we don't want things to be incredibly difficult and the time sink, because we're adults and we have things to do. And I'm sure there are some kids, but even they don't want to just grind and grind and grind. Like, they want to see some results. So this is feedback that I am taking on board and sharing with the team, and we're trying to see what we can do to actually improve this moving forward. The next con is another one that I truly believe is a short-term con, and I know it's going to be improved moving forward, but it's the Illuviums, the creatures right now that populate the world, don't actually feel that important. Yes, we're going out to battle them and capture them, and yes, it feels nice, but apart from that, what else is there to do with them? It's just that. The reason I think it feels this way is that we don't have actual individual stats, unique stats for each Illuvium, giving them that importance, and also a leveling system. So if I was to get into a battle and I didn't even want to capture anything on the board, what would be the purpose of me even battling that? It wouldn't. I wouldn't get XP, I wouldn't get anything from it. It would just be wasting time. And I think for me, that doesn't build that attachment with these Illuviums. We would want to train them. We would want them to be stronger and build them up over time. This is how we build that attachment. And without that leveling system, I just don't see it happening. I don't see that attachment, not like that anyway, unless it's like your first Ramfire. But apart from that, for a lot of the other Illuviums, I don't see us having that strong connection with it until we have unique stats and a leveling system that's implemented. The next con, and this is one that isn't really a con, I don't know, like, I just think it's a little bit funny, but the plants in the game are pretty much useless. Like, you can harvest them, but there's nothing to do with them. You can't consume anything, it's just harvesting them. So you're pretty much using your time, your energy, and your fuel for nothing if you're doing that. So it feels a little bit useless. I feel like it's a big part of the game once the full game is out, but for the time being, it seems a little bit useless, and it takes a big part of the game away from us, which is a shame. It'll be nice to see them developed over time, especially as the beta develops over time, to see what purpose they really have and to see how much of an impact they really make on our experience in the game. Lastly, this is the feedback that I hear most common after the, oh man, it feels a little bit empty. And that is, there are so many quality of life improvements that need to be implemented, especially around the UI, to make the game even more enjoyable. Very simple things like having your deck and your locker next to each other, so you're able to just move it across in a visual setting instead of tabbing out, switching this, switching that. Even in the forge, looking at how many of an item you already have so you don't craft something you already have. Small things like this are going to go a very long way to improve the user's experience in the game. And I think at the end of the day, the game needs to be fun, which it absolutely is, even in this state. So I can't wait till it's fully out. But the next thing is user experience. It's a fun game, but it's clunky, it's annoying. We're going to give up at some point. It needs to be seamless, and that is super important. And I know for a fact that they are working on this and they do have this in mind. It just wasn't a top priority for the time being, but I do hope that now the game is in the hands of a lot of the gamers. I do hope that it does stop becoming a little bit more of a priority, because it is going to affect the way people feel about the game. Oh, and damn, the last one, I can't believe I almost forgot this one. The last pro, a massive pro. The Gymborino jump. If you guys don't know how to do that, go to his channel, Gymborino, and check it out. You can jump from here to, man, wherever you want to go, to be honest. Learn how to do the Gymborino jump. That is an amazing addition to the game, and that is a whole heap of the fun when you are running around or Gymborino jumping around the overworld. All right, so those are my thoughts on the game, the pros and the cons. Let me know down in the comments, do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Did I miss anything out? Let me know. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.